One of the biggest things that I think people don't get right, and they should do, is finding the correct depth that they're fishing in. Now with a pole it's easy because you can shoot your pole out and you're directly underneath your pole and you can find the depth perfectly. Now I'm a massive believer in finding the right depth, massive, because I think fish feed at a depth, and sometimes you've got to find the right depth where the fish are feeding, especially when you're looking for bars and up to islands and down the edges and things like that. But on a feeder, how do you find out, or a bomb, do you find out the correct depth? Right, I'll listen to everybody. Now you've probably worked it out a bit different from most people. I don't do it like everybody else. When everybody else casts out, they go, first of all, the size of the bomb, I always use the same bomb, an ounce. And then you get used to the number that you're counting to. So if I cast this out there, it hits the surface, you keep a tight line, you watch the tip, and you're looking for the tip to drop back. And that tells you, obviously, it's hit the bottom. Then what you've got to do, when it hits the water, is start counting. And most people go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, almost like a second. But the people that do that, I said to them, what depth is that then? If they get to a 3, what depth is it? And they all tell me, it's about, and the moment they say it's about, I go, I'm not interested. I don't want to know it's about, I want to know it exactly. So what I'm going to show you is how to get the exact depth. Now, how do I know? Years and years ago, me and Dennis, when everything was in black and white by the way, me and Dennis, we went to a place called Ryle Reservoir on Low Lake, and we used to slide a fish and catch roach. And then one day it got windy, so we put a bomb on, and we were arguing about the depth and how deep it was. So what we did, we set a slider rod up, we cast it out, and it was 14 foot deep. And what we learned to do was cast an ounce bomb at the side of the float that we know's 14 foot, and what we decided to do is count till we get to 14. In other words, count, if you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and it only got to 6, we upped it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until we got to that number, because then we know exactly the depth that we're fishing. So when we cast out at the side of that float and it was 14, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we learned then, wherever we go, we know the perfect depth, because if you cast out and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's 7 foot. It's exactly 7 foot. And that's how we learn. So if you want to learn the exact depth, do that. Go somewhere where it's actually, you know the depth, and cast out until you get to that number that the depth is. For example, so if I'm coming to a venue I don't know, what I do, I put an ounce bomb out, and I'll tell you it's quite quick. When you get an ounce bomb to get to it, it's really quick. So when you cast out like this, I cast out, as soon as it's the bomb, start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there you go, 8. It dropped on 8. So I know out there it's 8 foot. Look, but remember how quick I counted then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, really quick. But if I'd have gone 1 and 2, I might have had a count of 2 or 3. I don't know what the actual depth is. So learn to count so to get to the exact depth. And I learnt that years and years ago, and I've had loads of arguments with people about the depth. Oh, it's about that, it's about... I'm not interested in about, I'm interested in what it is. So again, all you do, you cast out, and when it hits the surface, you start counting immediately. And to get to the depth like this, you cast it out, hits the water, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there you go. It's somewhere between 8 and 9 foot. That's 8 foot deep out there in my opinion, which I'm really happy about. So if I think the fish are at a different depth, I might cast around and look for the different depth. But the moment I know how deep it is out there, I'm happy. So if I want to go somewhere else, I might go down the edge there. And I might just go, cast it down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5 foot. You've got to count quick. It's not about the seconds, it's about the quick. So just recap, all you've got to do to find the right depth is simple. Cast out somewhere where you know the depth is, and then start counting. Let's say it's 8 foot. All you've got to do is learn to count when that bomb hits the water and get to 8. If you only get to 6, cast it back and learn how fast you've got to count. But with an ounce bomb, I'm telling you now, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's as quick as that. But try it and then you get your right depth. And then you can find out, because in my head, what I like to do, I like to plan my peg. Is the ledges, is this somewhere we're an island or am I up against an island? So I'm looking, so in my head I want to plan the actual peg on the bottom and what it's like. But trust me, fish feed at a level, and especially at certain times of the year. That's why I need to know in my head, swim management, I want to know where all the little ledges are in my peg, and that's how you find them. Ounce bomb, count quick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's as quick as that, and you'll get the exact depth. You know what you're fishing in. Just try it.